Hi guys. Okay, so I am going to install this wool thread that I made, and it's going to look, I thought I had one like this one. So I separated out a thread, and I think that it took me like maybe 3 minutes to pick this out, and I just used a triple crochet hook. So I have this, and I combed the top out with one of these. You can use a crochet hook or a quilting needle or whatever you have just hanging around. So I just take this and fluff it up, and I just kind of smash them together just like that, and I just make sure that the body of each thread is lined up, and I kind of pull the wool up over the top, and I'm using a 0.50 millimeter crochet hook, and I just like stick it through my thread, grab some of the wool, not a lot. I don't wrap it around because it makes a really obvious connection, and just pull a couple little strands through at once, twist it, and kind of do the same thing a few times like this, just to try to get it to connect so that I don't have to hold it and stabilize it. And after that, see, it's already pretty connected. If I was going to attach something like this, which is a different kind of wool, it's a shorter staple wool, I would use soap and water. At this point, I would just like palm roll soap and water, and that's called wet felting, and it works really well with the short staple wools. Because this is a longer staple wool, I don't really need to do that. I can just like connect it like any other extension, like a synthetic or a human hair one. And since it's already holding itself on there, I'm just gonna go, and hopefully you guys can see that. I know that I hold the thread really weird. I've had a couple people say that I just go too quick, or they can't see what I'm doing because my hand's in the way. So hopefully I can get this to focus and not have my fingers in the way as much, but all I'm doing is just sticking the hook into the little fluff ball. This is my thread. This is both the wool and my hair, and this is just the wool. So I'm going to go in and just, I'm not even wrapping it around the crochet hook. A lot of people like to wrap it around and then pull it through, and I don't like that look. It doesn't look very natural to me. It ends up kind of having like an elbow or a really weird connection, and I don't like that. I'd rather have it like straight, or as straight as possible, as smooth as possible. So this is what I have so far, and it looks hideous at this point, but if you just keep going, it will kind of like compact in on itself, and it will look a little bit more natural, even though the color of the wool and the color of my hair are not even close right now. Try to slow down a little bit and show you guys how I'm, see it just poke through, and I'm like not even grabbing a couple hairs at a time. Spin it and do the same thing. It's really, really easy. I would suggest going a lot slower than this if you're new or you haven't used a crochet hook a lot. You can really damage your hair. You can damage your thumb or your finger depending on which way you have the hook facing when you pull it through your thread. I have cut myself so many times. I've actually stuck myself really, really badly, to the point that I had a hook mark that grew out with my fingernail. I don't know how I managed to do it, but it hurt. I would suggest not doing that to yourself. Okay, so see how it's compacting a little bit? No, I don't like that bump right there. So I'm going to try to stick the hook in and pull some of that bump down into the fluff ball right here, because if I pull it straight through, it's going to end up just making a really weird hard lump there. So you want to try to pull it down a little bit. See how it's starting to level out a little? Just up, in. Don't wrap it around, just pull some down. So simple, guys. Just be careful. Really be careful. You don't want to hurt yourself or your hair. Hair health is so important with dreads. If you have really weak strands or really dry strands or damaged strands, it can break and you could lose your dread. You don't want that. Alright, so a little more. Just twist a little and pull. I'm going to spin my dread back the other way and keep just pulling a little bit at a time, twisting, pulling a little at a time, and don't stay in the same spot, just move around. Now, because I'm not going to wet felt this, I do want to pinch roll it a little bit to try to compact the fibers and my hair together. So I just grab it between my fingers, kind of squish it together a little bit, and just roll. Now this will take any of my little pieces of hair or pieces of wool that are sticking out, and it'll wrap them around. And I like to fluff it back up a little bit, because then I can stick the crochet hook back in and just snag those hairs. And that will help so much with the wool. It'll push all that wool together, and your hairs will help hold it stable. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure I'm done. I'm happy with it. There's no big bumps. There's no thin spots. Pretty securely connected. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do for today. I have some other ones I already added in. But do you think? Some of them are really, really obvious, but I like them. And I really like the wispy ends too. Thanks for watching, guys.